day, sir. I am Marichellene Reyes, and I'm going to present my research title about an experimental study comparing the use of white marble straps to make white concrete mixture to ordinary mixed gray concrete. For my research rationale, humanity experienced global warming through excessive use of natural resources from the mine. Ordinary Portland cement is usually gray in color and commonly used to build traditional structures, while white concrete is for structures such as floors, panels, and fascias and gardens, made to add texture to the build. However, gray cement is low cost compared to white cement. The use of sustainable materials such as marble straps from the tiles factory or from constructor sites as a mixture to make beautiful structures with white concrete. For conceptual framework, the researcher tends to conduct a study comparing the use of white marble straps to make white concrete on ordinary gray concrete, whereas the researcher tried to identify other means of reusing scrap marbles as sustainable materials in shaping the community and produce additional profit for the member of its community. The researcher displays the major effects or subjects of this study: input, process, and output. The input specifies the components to be used, while the process specifies how to carry out the performance using the ingredients specified. And lastly, the output specifies the expected outcome. For the statement of the problem, specifically, the study sought to answer the following questions. Number one, what are the differences between appearances of white concrete and gray concrete mixture? Two, what are the mixtures used in white concrete rather? Three, what are the mixtures used in gray concrete? Four, what are effects of reusing scrap marbles to create white concrete in the environment? Let's start with the first type of research design. For research method use, the research method used rather in study are combination of qualitative research and experimental results and quantitative research to confirm effects of white concrete into environment using survey questionnaires on the selected respondents. For the research respondents, in quantitative research of the study, the researcher used survey questionnaires, selected 45 respondents composed of students, supervisors, engineers, managers, and teachers. These are the table and the pie chart. For the research instrumentation, according to the researcher, the research instrumentation used in the study, the Internet for research of historical data such as related literatures and reviews. 2. Experimental instrument and output-based visual comparison. Use of survey questionnaire such as Google Form, distributed and collected via social media and email, online plagiarism check and grammar review. Laptop and mobile phone, hammer, sieve or strainer, measuring cup, molders, and mixtures of materials used in creating white and gray concrete. So these are the process or the main ingredients preparation for gray and white concrete. For the research treatment analysis, the researcher used frequency distribution and measurement of central tendency, where the frequency distribution used to determine the respondent's response easily, and measurement of central tendency is using central tendency of mean and median. For the summary of findings, the difference between appearance of white concrete and gray concrete mixtures, the mixture of scrap marble having a white concrete appearance compared to ordinary concrete mixture, as you can see on the figure. This is the summary of mixed white concrete as well as for the mixed gray concrete. The respondents' agreement about the effects of reusing scrap marbles to create white concrete in the environment. The effects of reusing scrap marble to create white concrete in the environment with the following variables such as lowering the total production cost, lowering the cement requirements, lowering cement factory emissions, economic and environmental advantages, and reduced production of fly ash, while they were strongly agreeing on reduced disposal to landfill. Based on the results, it indicated that the respondents based on their current designation, students, supervisors, engineers, managers, and teachers are having an overall agreement on the effects of reusing scrap marbles to create white concrete in the environment. For the table number 4, frequency and percent distribution of the respondents' agreement in terms of their designation as students, their overall weighted mean is 4.04 and the verbal interpretation is agreed. In terms of their designation as supervisor, the overall weighted mean is 4.56 and the verbal interpretation is strongly agreed. In terms of designation as engineers, the overall weighted mean is 4.06 and the verbal interpretation is agreed. In terms of designation as manager, the overall weighted mean is 4.12 and the verbal interpretation is agreed. As teacher, the overall weighted mean is 4.92 and the verbal interpretation is strongly agreed. In terms of all designation, the overall weighted mean is 4.14 and the verbal interpretation is agreed. Result For the result and analysis SOP number 1, according to the researcher, the experimental study of comparing the use of white marble scraps to make white concrete to an ordinary gray concrete was assessed that the white concrete combination generated a white texture when compared to the gray concrete mixture. Thus, the marble sand was mixed well with white cement, making the concrete appear white, which supports the statement that there is a difference between the appearances of white and gray concrete mixture. However, based on observation, some improvement for making the texture fine appearance by using fine molder and its proper removal is crucial. For SOP number 2, to make the white Portland cement mixture, the researcher gathered and mixed the following materials: 2 volume white marble sand, 1 volume white cement, and zero point 0.5 volume of water. To achieve the desired result, white concrete mixture preparations have been done according to the design in the research. Careful selection of the smolder, pouring compaction, curing time, and removal of mortar must be strictly followed. For SOP number 3, to make the ordinary Portland cement mixture, the researcher gathered and mixed the following materials: 2 volume black cement, 1 volume gray cement, and zero point 0.5 volume of water. For SOP number 4, what the effects of reusing scrap marbles to create white concrete in the environment. The respondents in all designation were agreed on the lower total concrete production cost, lower cement requirements, lower cement factory emissions, economic and environmental advantages, and reduced production of fly ash, was to strongly agree on reduced disposal to landfill. Moreover, the overall respondents in all designations are agreed on the effects of reusing scrap marbles to create white concrete in the environment. There is still room for improvement to make all respondents strongly agree on the above-mentioned variables. which can be studied in the future. For the hypothesis, based on the results and clearly visible in figure number 5, which shown that the use of marble scrap is having a good result of white texture appearance than ordinary concrete. Therefore, the hypothesis decision is to reject null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis, because it was proven that there is a significant difference between the use of marble scraps to make white concrete mixture than an ordinary mixed clay concrete. In conclusion, the use of scrap marbles to create white concrete was proven based on the output in figure 5. Thus, the marble scrap mixture resulted to a white fine texture appearance compared to an ordinary clay concrete. Careful selection of mixture proportion using fine molder and a proper removal to get more better result of white concrete is recommended. On the other hand, where using scrap marbles and having significant effects to the environment such as lowering the total concrete production cost, lowering the cement requirements, lowering cement factory emissions, economic and environmental advantages, and reduce production of fly ash, while there were strongly agree on reduced disposal landfill. Moreover, the overall responses in all designations are agreed on the effects of reusing scrap marbles to create white concrete in the environment. For the recommendation of the study, based on the summary of findings and the conclusion given above, the following recommendation has been given to be used by future beneficiaries of the study. Number 1, based on experimental observation, careful selection of mixture proportion, using fine molder and its molder proper removal to get more better result of white concrete is highly recommended. The use of advanced technology such as grinding materials or machine rather than manual in the process of preparing scrap marbles design is highly recommended. Last, based on the survey which resulted all respondents to agreed status, which is lower than strongly agreed status, a continual education about the effects of reusing scrap marbles to create white concrete in the environment is highly recommended. For the goal of this research is not about resources, it's about resources. And some mines are like concrete, thoroughly mixed and permanently set. That will be all. Thank you. So, to answer the research questions, why did you choose your topic? My answer is that I chose this topic about an experimental study of comparing the use of white marble scraps to make white concrete mixed with the ordinary mixed clay concrete because I noticed a lot of unused scraps from factories that can still be functional for the community. So I come up with possible solutions or products where I can use scrap to effectively reduce global warming with pollution and save planet Earth. Number 2, how does your research really began in the community? My research can help the community by lessening the use of resources and make use of unused scraps. Similarly, it can help contractors by creating an expensive concrete in building houses and buildings, thus contribute in reducing waste to landfills and maximizing the use of materials from natural resources, and further generated profit from the scraps that will contribute to the society. Number 3, what are your recommendations to future researchers? My answer is that as the researchers for this study, I recommended to future researchers that advanced technology such as grinding machine is crucial in preparing the marble set. Also, to observe proper mixture of ingredients in the process, it can be also a benefit to use proper molder and removal to have fine texture of the concrete.